So this is the famous turban of the Akali Nihang Sikh. It is also known as the turban fortress because of the number of weapons that it holds. The turban is always indigo blue in color. This is the color of the Akali Nihangs, and it carries an entire artillery of weapons. Miniature blades, knives, quoits, even a double-edged sword. And some of these can be seen and some are hidden in the folds of the turban. Right at the top emerges a piece of loose blue cloth, which is the farla or the battle flag. Now, legend has it that at one time Guru Gobind Singh Ji, the 10th Guru of the Sikhs, set a challenge to his warriors. They were the warriors who had taken an oath to protect, to defend to the death, and to be ready to do this at all times. So, how should a warrior like this dress? The very next day, his youngest son, Fateh Singh Ji, who was just 4 years old at the time, walked into his court wearing a dark blue tall turban into which he had carefully placed an assortment of weapons, all the daggers and the quoits, etc. And he had arranged them in such a way that they gradually became smaller in size to fit into the turban, which became narrower as it went upwards. And right at the top, in pride of place, was the farla, the flag that Guru Gobind Singh Ji had commanded every Akali Nihang warrior to wear. And such was the power of this incredible turban that under its influence, even this tiny little 4-year-old boy seemed transformed into the mightiest warrior. And Guru Gobind Singh Ji had decided there and then that this turban would for all times be the mark of all Akali Nihang Sikhs. So, let's take a closer look at the turban. This is actually 2 turbans tied one on top of the other. The under turban is tied around the hair of the Sikh warrior. That's what keeps it in place. It is carefully wound in such a way that makes the turban look like a tall mountain peak. And then the top is twisted so that the cloth emerges from there as a flag. The farla or the flag at the top was introduced by Guru Gobind Singh Ji in 1702 during a battle with a Rajput king. The warrior Man Singh, who was carrying the battle standard with the Akali flag, was wounded, and as he fell, the standard was cut down, the flag was cut down as well. Guru Gobind Singh Ji had commanded that from that day on, the farla would be worn on every Akali warrior's turban. That way, it would fly all across the battlefield, not just in one place. It would fly all across the battlefield, and it would fly till the warrior had life. This flag became a symbol of the Akali Nihang brotherhood, and to be allowed to wear it was considered a huge privilege. It showed that you were one of the chosen. Now, over this under turban was tied a second turban in order to provide more thickness and support. And it was on this second turban that the weapons were held. The short sword in front was known as the Gajga, or the controller of elephants. In Hindu mythology, the Gajga was the symbol of the most powerful warriors, of men who were capable of defeating a war elephant single-handedly. The Akali Nihangs wore this as a sign of their own ferocity on the battlefield. The sword was tied into place with a steel wire. Then you have the quoits or the chakra. The quoit is a small round spinning wheel made of highly polished razor-sharp steel and can be used to lethal effect by a well-trained warrior. The best way to throw it was to spin it around the finger and then fling. The turban was stacked with all sorts of weapons, quoits, blades, knives, etc., which were all kept in place with a steel wire, and the turban cloth into which they were wedged, handy yet secure. This was a time when the enemy was always close An attack was always imminent. It was important to be ready at all times.